Okay, so here you are. You know, mountain bikers are, I used to see them a lot. Pretty rare to see a mountain biker now. But this is spot number 2. This is the glider bailout spot. From up top, you'll clearly see how it's a bailout zone. Way up there is where they launch, but that's spot number 2. It's a great one to stretch out and really get yourself, you know, ready for this next push. Little tough here on this next clip. It's more like the first 2 allow you to shake out and get ready, and then now you're really into that next long stretch where you really got to just buckle up. And in that buckle up period, you're almost doubling the distance on this one. It's about twice as long before I stop. And what I found is in this zone here, it's my best. Oh, there you go. Wow. There's your deer. Come on. I mean, you just can't. I mean, that was live. You see that? Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. Oh, thank you, Lord. So in this guy here, we're really just opening ourselves up to really how we want our stride to be for this hike. Between the second spot at number 3, I found that this is like some of my best work for where I want to keep. It's like the first 2 are almost like that horse gets out into that long stride where it's let's say it's, give the example of a horse doing a mile. You know, that first quarter, or I think it's 2 or 3 furlong, it's really sprinting and getting his heart rate up, and then it settles back, and then it gets into a nice long stride over a good distance. And that particular stride is where I try to be, right here, where I'm pushing now. There's one spot that I typically lightly, you know, shake out and stretch, water up, and then hit it again. It's almost like the 2/3 spot, and that's where we'll stop today to show. And then from there, it's almost the same pace all the way up. There's a couple sections after the glider spot where it's a little steeper, and now you're getting into that elevation, and you're not going to keep the same pace as you do right here, because this pace is where it's still gradual. As you get up closer towards the top, then of course you're dealing with more of an elevation, less oxygen, and you need to take it down to 4th gear and you know, keep plodding away. And that's part of how you really get into mountaineering, and the ultimate is always the summit. You want to get to the summit and achieve what your goal was for that day. But at the same time, you know, there's spots in there where you're also stretching yourself, stripping yourself, and cobwebs and all that stuff. So while that's your goal, this is the section that I call, you know, that spot that's like a sweet spot where you're finally getting into that stride. This is the other section that has a semi-steep spot before you get into this long gradual. You'll see it up here in that whole section, which is like a catwalk. That's where it starts to. This is the end of now these long stretches, and you're into more of where you are zigzagging, catwalks, and climbing elevation. Here you're still gradually building up. It's more longer stretches, a couple of steep sections, and you're, you know, getting your endurance up. All right, so we're gonna check out for now, and we'll see you at the glider port.